All right, welcome to the YouTube Hyper Growth Blueprint. I'm so pumped that you're here and that you've made the investment to be a part of this course. The YouTube Hyper Growth Blueprint is the 10 proven strategies for triggering growth, boosting profits, and creating raving fans on YouTube. And I just want to thank you for being here and investing in yourself, investing in your learning, and really taking your mastery to another level. Now, it's important to note that this is a little bit of an intermediate to more of an advanced course. And so if you're early stage in YouTube, you'll still get value because it's always awesome to see and learn things that can stretch us and cause us to expand. But this is about hyper growth. This is about stepping up to play a bigger game. This is about really taking your focus, your discipline, your plan, your strategy to a whole nother level to achieve remarkable results. So let's dive into it. In part one here, we're just going to be talking about the hyper growth blueprint itself. Now, if you're just meeting us, so thankful that you're here, and our mission is to help people build their influence with online video and social media. Here at Think Media, our company, that's what we're all about. And I want to encourage you as we get ready to turn off distractions. During this time, block time to watch this training, close the door, grab something to take notes with, because focus is power. And especially when you take notes, it increases comprehension and retention. Now, the purpose of this course is number one, analytics. Like, how does YouTube actually work? Because when we know how it works, we can make smart decisions for growth. And then secondly, what are the proven strategies for growing on YouTube? Like, what are things that have been tested that work to grow? Now, this is really based off of what we've been experiencing over the last few years on our different YouTube channels. And we've been on a growth trajectory now for multiple years, really three, 4 years, which is challenging to do because YouTube can kind of be like a roller coaster, even for some of the biggest creators. But looking back at 2018, this is video influencers, you could see subscribers grew by 39%, and this isn't because we had a spurt. This is from an already large channel with a lot of subscribers. So to keep growing at that rate is a challenge, right? So what are the strategies that led to that? Think Media grew by 35% in subscribers, 59% in watch time minutes, 88 million minutes. It's a lot of growth. That's a lot of impact. So the question that we're trying to achieve is how do you grow on YouTube? But before we get into that, I just want you to reflect a little bit on why you want to grow on YouTube. And of course, well, because maybe I want to make money or I want to get subscribers, but like, what are some of the bigger reasons? And they could be things like, is it attached to a larger business? Is it attached to a fact like we've done some video influencers interviews with people who eventually wanted to write a book. They eventually wanted to actually use YouTube influence to maybe go to traditional media or vice versa. Maybe you already have a business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. Why do you want to grow on YouTube? There's a few major benefits of YouTube, and this is, from my perspective, some of the biggest benefits of YouTube growth that I've experienced. The first is sales. Sales. You know that we do affiliate marketing, so tech gear. I'm holding the camera in this picture. So we've built multiple six figures of top line income because of YouTube growth in affiliate marketing, of income that we make in our business. Also book sales, right? We wrote YouTube Secrets. And so book sales or course sales or ticket sales for events, like whatever it is, growth on YouTube can drive profit, revenue, income, and sales. Next up would be speaking. Like maybe you want to get speaking or consulting. Maybe you want to speak on stages in your niche. And speaking is another massive benefit. I've been now speaking internationally. Why have some of these doors opened? Because of not just having a YouTube channel, but having a thriving, prospering, growing YouTube channel. Another thing could be press and media. And it's been crazy over the last few years now. Forbes or Entrepreneur Magazine or local news, YouTuber Magazine, Las Vegas Review Journal, like getting in articles or going on New Day Northwest or these different things. Maybe press and media, it's one of the biggest accelerators for positioning yourself as an authority, as a thought leader. And so that has been massive for us. And a growing YouTube channel was the key, right? Network. You know, I've been able to share the stage with some of the best and brightest online influencers, and I've gotten to connect with a lot of people, whether I was interviews or business collabs or friendships. And this all happened from hypergrowth, from actually stepping out, putting in the work, putting in the strategies, getting the results. And our network is rapidly expanded. Brand partnerships, maybe in your niche, there's brands you'd want to work with. You know, I got started in video back in 2003, and I was volunteering at my local church, and the youth pastor handed me Adobe Premiere editing software, which I still use today, and an HV Canon camera, HV30, that had mini DV tapes. So I've been using Canon for years, right? Like almost 17 years now or something like that. And so it was always one of my dreams, especially once I started seeing this influencer space. Like, man, imagine if one day Canon would send me a free camera. Like, imagine if I could collab with Canon. Like, I've spent a lot of money with them. It'd be so cool to work with them. And we recently did almost a year-long campaign with Canon. I mean, we got thousands of dollars of free gear. We got paid to create content, but really to do something that I love and that I've been passionate about for so many years. That's possible through YouTube, right? Because of building your influence there. And so getting to work with brands, and then just in general, like massive business expansion. Like in 3 years' time, we've had just views, subscribers, but our top line profit has been crazy in our business. You know, now running a 7-figure business, soon to be multiple 7 figures. Working with building notable brands. Maybe you've seen Video Influencers or Think Media or our event Grow with Video or YouTube Secrets and different brands. Our team expanding, you know, connecting with different people. So much buzz, having notable ranked videos. All of this has happened from hyper growth on YouTube. And so I think that I don't really need to convince you of this. I mean, that's why you're here and watching this training. But I just want to encourage you to dream a little bit bigger and write down some things. What is it you want to, what are the practical things you would like to have happen because of growing on YouTube? And the truth is, every battle is won before it's ever fought. Before it's ever fought. Meaning, you don't just, I see a lot of people do it. The number one mistake a lot of people make when it comes to building their influence on social media and YouTube is they just run out to the battlefield and they're just like, all right, let me just give it a shot. You know, like, I don't even know where I'm going. I just know you're supposed to take massive action. Yes, but I was actually just studying it in my devotional this morning. Haste makes waste, it says in the book of Proverbs, ancient wisdom. Haste makes mistakes. Zeal without wisdom is not good. So it's like you need to have passion. You need to be fired up. You need to be focused, but you need a strategy. And it's crazy. Sun Tzu, the famous military general, was saying, look, battles aren't won during the battle. They're actually won before the battle even starts. Could it be that your YouTube channel, the success you're wanting to have, means that you need to actually create a plan right now, figure out what you're doing right now so that you can succeed when it happens? And so that's why, along with this course, we've created the YouTube Hypergrowth Blueprint Personal Clarity Worksheet. This thing will walk you through putting together your battle plan, your game plan, and we're going to go through it together in this course. Because in this first session, our big idea here is this: the number one secret to long-term success. What is it? Now, key word there, long-term. What we've noticed in YouTube is there's a lot of bad information going around. There's a lot of misinformation. And what it is we're seeing people become overnight sensations, overnight celebrities, have overnight success. However, in pretty much 100 out of 100 cases, it's 15 minutes of fame. A friend of mine, Benji, was recently spending time with a bunch of vloggers and family vloggers that were on traveling, and a lot of people were struggling. People who've made a lot of money, big audiences, big impact. But what happened was they caught a wave, they caught a trend, and they succeeded for a while. But guess what? They didn't know how to replicate their success. They didn't even actually necessarily know why they got successful. A little bit of charisma, a little bit of starting at the right time, a little bit of luck. They started, but now they're struggling. Why? Because short-term success is one thing. You get a viral video. That's why a lot of people who've got viral videos never had a viral business, because they didn't have a business model. They didn't have something behind. So what is the number one secret to keyword long-term success? The answer is strategy. Every battle is won before it's even fought. And look, I did not get here by accident. Now, I want to, of course, acknowledge that I have been born with certain advantages, or I was the timing of when I got into video. You know, I recognize team and people and friends and relationships that have got me here. I didn't create myself, right? My parents or you, whatever. Like, so no one is an island, right? But the truth is, I did not get here by myself. I didn't just stumble here accidentally one day, like, wow, this is amazing. No, it was intentional. It was strategic. And there's always going to be those uncontrollable forces. That algorithm, that'll change, right? Your life circumstances, that'll change. But there's always things you can control. And your level of strategy and intentionality is directly correlated to your level of impact in your business, your brand, and your YouTube channel overall, period. Like, and the big idea in this course is, look, if you can increase how strategically you're thinking, if you can increase how clear your vision is, if you can get crystal clear on your plan for growth, what you're actually trying to achieve, and then take massive action and execute on it, you will outperform your competitors. Because the truth is, the highest performing YouTube channels and entrepreneurs and creatives overall think more often about their strategy, their plan, their positioning, and all of these different aspects that go into building your influence on YouTube. Because there is no consistent success without strategy. So what is hypergrowth? Why YouTube hypergrowth? Well, this definition from the Harvard Business Review is the steep part of the S-curve that most young markets and industries experience at some point, where the winners get sorted from the losers. So it's this part right here. It's when things really start going up. So I'm using hypergrowth loosely in this course, but the idea is, even based on this hypergrowth curve, the 3 stages every high growth company goes through is that discovery stage. You're kind of figuring things out. You're kind of just like flat. You're sort of going through that. Then you eventually kind of hit mass production, the Model T phase, where now like you figured out the system of it, it's working. And this is what we've been riding through for a while here. We were kind of figuring things out. I'm dialing in our brand, our message, whatever. And then it started to kind of have mass production. We started to scale up. And then eventually you get into the P&G stage, Procter & Gamble, right? Differentiation, brand building. Why is it better? And that's that steep part. And we're actually, we've kind of been in it, but we're sort of going into it now. Our goal is to get you through these stages, is to get you into growth mode, and is to be doing the right steps and the right actions and taking the right moves, making the right moves for your brand at each phase to hit that hypergrowth. And so this is the history of Think Media, and Think Media actually goes back to 2010. Doesn't even show up on this screenshot here. And you can see that it was pretty flat for a while. Now, to be fair, you can also see there's like the dark ages. There wasn't a lot of uploads here, but just keeping in mind that slow and steady wins. YouTube is a marathon and not a sprint. But when I started to get consistent, big key, right? And I started to apply focused strategies, boom, the growth started to happen. And if you actually look between even 2010 and 2015 on this graph here, there actually is a lot of traffic in there. That blue line is thousands of views. It's just like millions of views once you start hitting kind of this hyper growth. And we've continued to grow and scale even into 2019 and beyond. So that's what I want for you. And that's why you're here. That's what this course is about. And the truth is, now is the time. It really is. Like, now is the time, because what other option do you have? Just like keep dabbling, or to really get focused and start dominating? Now is the time. And here's why. YouTube has now hit over 2 billion monthly users. And check this out. The number of channels with 1 million subscribers doubled last year. So I know there's competition, and I understand there's challenges, and I know that there's things that come against us, but this ship is growing. People from all around the world, different ethnicities, backgrounds, ages, brands, niches, are taking advantage of this. Why? Because they figured out their brand, they're putting in massive work, and they've got a smart strategy. And so how do we do that? How do we do hypergrowth? And another kind of thought on why now is the time is this product adoption curve. Now, maybe you've seen this before. This is usually applied to technology, and it's applied to something like when the iPhone first came out, well, the real tech enthusiasts bought it. And then early adopters, the visionaries, like the innovators designed it. Early adopters are those people who are like standing in line a week early. They just always want to have the latest thing. And then eventually you hit the majority, kind of the pragmatists. And then eventually it's conservatives and skeptics. Now, to be honest, the most profitable, the best time to flourish is with the middle and the end. I mean, it's really the whole center. But if you miss this first part, the pragmatists is the biggest part. And here's where we are in YouTube right now. For 2005, YouTube started super early, like crazy if you were on YouTube in 2005. If you got on YouTube really 2010 through 2018, you were an early adopter for sure. And there's definitely advantages, first mover, but that is in the past. So now moving into 2020 and beyond, we have to look and see that there's still so much, like if you will, at least 50% upside, if you will, for market share. Yes, I think things are evolving. Things are getting a little bit more professional. They're getting more dialed in. They're getting more focused. The market is maturing. But my point to you is that this is about you. It doesn't matter what your competitors are doing. They're going to do that regardless. It doesn't matter what your neighbors are doing, with all the people you're following on Instagram are doing. Who cares? You got to focus on your own brand, your own mission, and keep your head down to put in the work to maximize this moment in history. Because look, this blue and yellow section is massive. This is you. This is your niche. This is your topic, taking massive action to grow and really seize market share around your topic and your niche. So this course is about three things. Number one, it's about laying a solid foundation for success. In this case, we're defining that we need strategy. And in the next training, we're going to be talking about the Clarity worksheet and really getting those pillars of success in place first. Then we're going to dive into YouTube analytics, because you want to understand how YouTube actually works so that you can play the game. It's like you can manipulate the rules and understand the game and move through the environment when you know what they actually are. You can develop some of your own strategies. We're going to give you some, but the other thing to keep in mind is that these are also from our particular niche. They're from our perspective, and you're going to get massive value that's actionable out of this course. But I need you thinking for yourself too. It's like I need almost 2 lines on your paper where you're taking notes on these strategies, getting ideas, but then you're also making notes about, okay, man, for me, wow, this could work. Because your niche is going to be a little bit different. Your content, your business, your brand is going to be a little bit different than ours. And then we're going to talk about mastering the 10 proven strategies for growth. And so our course outline is this: the number one secret for long-term success, strategy. We just answered that. In the next section, we'll go into the foundation of hypergrowth. We'll go into analytics and how YouTube works in the third part. And then we'll talk about the 10 hypergrowth strategies. And then after that, there are a few just kind of best practices and tactics that are just winning and crushing on YouTube, period. And then how do you sustain long-term growth will be our final session. And so a summary of what we've learned here in this first part is start with the end in mind. Why do you want to be on YouTube? Everything starts with having clarity about where you ultimately want to go. You know, one of the biggest mistakes we could ever make in our lives and our careers, honestly, could be being successful. Well, Sean, what do you mean? Well, if you successfully climb to the very top of the mountain, what happens if you find out that it's the wrong mountain? Right? Because maybe we were just frantically reacting to what was happening in social media and seizing this opportunity. But you want to make sure you're actually climbing the right mountain, right? Like that you're sacrificing now, of course, and you're hustling right now. But what are you building towards? And are you building something that you actually want to keep doing? Or, just clarity. Start with the end in mind. Reverse engineer everything. There is no consistent success without strategy. If you don't have a strategy yet, don't run into battle and just start shooting. Think things through. And that's what this course is all about, what we'll really be diving into in the next section. And then the third thing is now is the time to go all in YouTube. It just is. Doesn't matter what's happened in the past because the past is in the past. You got to know there's massive opportunity for the future. The future is forward. And I really believe this, that the best is still to come for you, your business, and your brand as you start playing chess and not checkers. As you're more strategic, more intentional, more thoughtful, and honestly, can I say more committed? Now, I'm looking at you right now as we're doing this course. And I don't know exactly what you're doing or what you're going through. And I'm not trying to question your commitment level, but I think when I say that you could be more committed, right? Like you could be more focused. And I don't necessarily even mean more time. I mean more intentionality, that you're going to just head down, take this thing seriously. And as we finish this session, that's actually the shift I had to make. There's a great book. It's called Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. And it's this idea that it's so easy for us to kind of just say, well, this is just a hobby, which is fine. This is just something I'm kind of doing. I hope it works someday, because I know we want to guard our heart. What if it doesn't work? No guarantees that it will, but we hedge a little bit by saying, I'm not that committed. But what I've learned is that when you put your heart into something, that's when you get results out of something. And so I just want to challenge you that going through this course, I believe we can just get sniper focused, more resilience, more commitment, and then having the right strategies to execute on. Because friends, this is about changing your life. Just is, right? Like this is about what would it mean for you to have a YouTube channel that was growing and producing the results in your business, your brand, your personal brand, changing your life. Like I know you dream about this stuff. Then say, okay, I'm willing to pay the price for that. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to finish this course is the first commitment. I'm going to go through all the training. It's amazing you started this course. It's more amazing if you actually finish it. Because a lot of people in online courses, they don't even follow the course through. I want you to see this through. Focus, stay, the grit, the resilience, the commitment, because together, come on, we're about to crush it. And what this is all about is getting you into hyper growth. So thank you so much for being here. And in the next part, we're going to be laying the foundation for hyper growth. So I'll see you in the next session.